Hello and welcome back to Marineford TCG. Today we've got something a bit different. This is the CS in Hokkaido that's happened in Japan over this last weekend here. And this is actually the finals. We have a Blackbeard player against a Doflamingo player, which is pretty cool. What I'm going to be doing here, I've seen a couple of people do these on YouTube. I figured I'd give it a go, see how we can do. And this is going to be an English commentary over the top of the Japanese video. I'm not going to be playing the Japanese audio because it will get a little bit confusing. But this video is not mine. This is no rights of mine. Please check out the official One Piece card game Japan channel. I'll put a link to them in the description, and there you can watch the whole VOD of this mega tournament if you'd like to. I'm just going to be covering the finals for now, but if there's interest in this type of content, we can do more in the future. But anyway, yeah, we've got Blackbeard against Doflamingo. It's a pretty interesting matchup. So you would think that Doflamingo would be pretty good into this because they can go wide. However, Blackbeard's leader effect stopping Jinbei from letting them go wide, stopping Weevil from drawing a card, stopping them stacking with Perona and Bo Hancock, I think could prove pretty instrumental to give the Blackbeard player a good chance. So without any further ado, I'm going to hit play and then we're going to keep yapping. Hit play. So I think some of the cards that are going to be pretty important in this matchup are some of the removal cards. So for example, for the Blackbeard, he has the Doc Q and the Van Augur. I think these are going to be pretty instrumental. If he can get those on the board, it's really nice because if the Doflamingo wants to take out the Doc Q or the Van Augur, not only are they not swinging into the Blackbeard's life, but then on KO, the Blackbeard player will get to draw a card, which will enable him to use his leader effect more often. I do anticipate that the Blackbeard player will choose to use his leader effect early, which is in contrast to some other matchups, such as Blackbeard against Shanks, where the Blackbeard likes to save the cards in their hand and use their leader effect later on. I think if Blackbeard can get to the late game and start dropping those big meaty 10-drop Blackbeards and have that big Jesus Burgess, this could actually be a pretty good matchup for Blackbeard, but we'll just have to see how brutal the Doflamingo's early game aggression is in this one here. So I think they've both decided to keep their hands, and I do know the Doflamingo is going first. So we'll pause here and we'll have a look at the hand for the Doflamingo player. So he's got a 2K Mihawk, double Sengoku, Law, and Jozu. Doesn't seem like a crazy good hand. Having no stacker going first is pretty rough. Maybe he's hoping to draw the 2-cost Teach off one of these Sengokus and be able to stack something with that. But yeah, I'm not crazy about this hand here, I will say. The Jozu probably not going to be able to bounce anything if the Blackbeard is using their leader effect. These Sengokus will be fine on the early turns if Blackbeard doesn't use his leader effect immediately. But with no stacker, that's a little rough, and he also has no Jinbei to play on 5 potentially. So interesting to know if he mulliganed before this, because I feel like this is a hand I wouldn't keep as Doflamingo. I'm always looking for a stacker. And here we see the Blackbeard's hand. You've got the Van Augur, which is the minus, you can tap him to give -3. You've got Stronger, which is like a Tsuru with extra steps. You've got Jesus Burgess, who, you know what this guy does. He can't be KO'd by effects, though he can be bounced by Law. And he has plus 1000 power for every 4 cards in the Blackbeard player's trash. Got a nice chump blocker here, that'll be pretty good against Doflamingo. They can obviously bounce it with Law, but if you're stopping their on plays, they can't. And if they're bouncing this, they're not bouncing one of your more useful targets, like the Jesus Burgess. And the Doc Q, you could tap him to KO 1, which is pretty nice. So I think this is a pretty good hand for the Blackbeard. None of the 10-cost Blackbeards yet, but you don't particularly want to get your hand bricked up with those in the early game. I think having the Doc Q plus Van Augur is pretty nice. He is going second, so he could potentially do Doc Q into Jesus Burgess into Van Augur on 6, remove something on his 6th on turn. Sort of missing a card on 4, playing out Jesus Burgess on 4 is fine. It's absolutely fine, but it does sort of demand the use of the leader effect to stop the Trafalgar Law bouncer from getting just insane value bouncing this Jesus Burgess. We'll see. Potentially he might be looking for something like a Laboon to get out as well, but we'll just have to see. We know the Doflamingo player is going first. Presumably he's just going to drop this Sengoku. Just waiting for the players to get underway here. This is the second tournament in a row where Blackbeard has been in the finals. So I do know some people at points in this format have had some doubts about Blackbeard's viability. But I think he's really shown himself this past couple of tournaments. And we do see the Sengoku come out. Doflamingo is going to look at the top 5. And we do see he has a Weevil. Weevil, couple Laws. Is that a Gion? I can't tell what those last 2 cards are, but he's going to go with the Weevil. He did forego 2 Laws, so there won't be many Trafalgar Laws coming out. Weevil is nice, having that vanilla stat line. Even if he doesn't get to draw a card with it, he will at least get them a nice vanilla stat line. Blackbeard's going to play out the dot Q, tap it to get rid of Sengoku. That's pretty cute. I like that. And he ditches a Stronger. And for turn, he drew a Jesus Burgess. So that's a pretty good draw for turn. Ditching a Stronger for the Black Hole Leader effect. So Doflamingo cannot use any stackers if he has them. Looks like he's just going to go 7. We'll see if he decides to take out the dot Q or not. He's going to YOLO the leader ability. Good chance he hits here. We'll just see if he wants to give Blackbeard a fresh card on the dot Q KO or not. Looks like he goes to leader. And rips a Jozu's. That's a pretty big whiff for Doflamingo. Blackbeard's got to be ecstatic to see that. Having one less body to deal with in this early game is really nice, especially where he does not have a Laboon. So he's just going to go 5 at leader. Doflamingo will probably take this. Yeah, they usually take the first swing. Just to get that extra option in their hand, which can be pretty nice. And the Blackbeard is going to tap 4 and just play out the Jesus Burgess. That makes a lot of sense to me. He drew, is that a black hole for turn, I think? Yeah, he ditches the black hole for the black hole leader effect. He also drew a 10 cost Blackbeard, potentially off the life there. That's pretty good. Doflamingo on 5 here. Not seeing anything crazy in his hand. Might just choose to do 6 and play out something like one of these Weevils. Won't get to draw a card, but we'll just get the nice big body on the board. Looks like he's going to do exactly that. Blackbeard shouldn't have too much of a hard time dealing with this. He does have the Van Augur in hand. He can drop the Van Augur, tap it, tap dot Q to get rid of the Weevil. And then he can swing 6 into life. I imagine he'll leave this Jesus Burgess up. He's currently only a 5k attack. No need to swing with him yet. It would just give the Doflamingo a nice target to attack into. It's not going to give the Blackbeard an extra card draw here. Yep, so he does go with that play. Doflamingo's board is clear once more. Will he use leader effect again? I imagine he will. He's got a Laboon. He's got double Blackbeards there and a Laboon. He's thinking about whether to attack with the Jesus Burgess. He's thinking hard about whether he wants to attack with his Jesus. I don't think he should, really. But I think he's working out whether he wants the Doflamingo to attack the Jesus Burgess. And he does. So he's going to go 5. Ditches the Jozu. And then he ditches the Laboon for the Black Hole effect. So again, Doflamingo is in struggle straight. He's going to have to YOLO this leader effect again. He's on 7. He can do a 4-don play and leader effect. YOLO'd at either the Jesus Burgess or the Blackbeard. So by tapping the Jesus Burgess here, the Blackbeard player has given the Doflamingo a chance to KO it, but he knows that. He's a very talented player to make it all the way to the finals, this massive tournament, and he must be weighing up that he would rather the Jesus Burgess die than his leader get attacked down to 2, which is I respect. We'll see if the Doflamingo player decides to take his quote-unquote bait or not. I think the only reason he would attack this is if he doesn't want Doflamingo to attack active. Doflamingo could also choose to try and deal with some of his KO combo. This is a pretty nice combo now that it's set up. And again, Doflamingo having no control over what comes out, cannot use that Boas on play to stack the top of their deck, cannot use Weevil to draw a card. They had a Perona, can't use it. The 2-cost Teach seems like an incredibly important card in this matchup. I don't know if the Doflamingo player is playing 2-cost Teach. If they are, it's unfortunate that they weren't able to find it yet, because that gives you a reliable way to stack the top of your deck, even through the Black Hole effect from the Blackbeard leader. So he's going to go 7. See where he attacks this 7. Will it go into the Burgess? Will it go into life? And he's going to YOLO it and gets a pudding. Wow, 2 whiffs for this Doflamingo player. That's so unlucky. He's got to be feeling really bad. And it was into Jesus Burgess, and Jesus Burgess goes down, which is fine. Blackbeard is going to 8 here. He can just... Currently, he has not very much going on, so he can play out another Jesus Burgess and play out the Vasco shot for a nice blocker. Probably ditch whatever the top deck is, unless it changes the game. Can't see what that is yet. Restands his characters. Yep, -3 Weevil, KO Weevil with the dot Q. Makes a lot of sense. Might as well do that now. He's going to do 7 at life with the leader. Still can't see what the card he drew for turn is. Oh, it was a stronger 2k. So yeah, that's not too crazy. I imagine he'll go with the Jesus Burgess, the Vasco shot, ditching the stronger. And from next turn, he can start dumping out these Blackbeards. Yep, 4 for Burgess, 2 for Vasco shot. Makes a lot of sense. Ditch the stronger. Read him like a book. Doflamingo, still no on plays. Can't use any of these Josus to bounce back some of these meaty targets in Blackbeard's board. Pretty unfortunate. They brought up a visual of Raging Tiger. I don't see a Raging Tiger in the Doflamingo's hand. They must be talking about how good Raging Tiger would be right now. And they're not wrong. It would be pretty cracked. But alas, Doflamingo just on 9 here. Doesn't really have any good bodies to play. Playing out the Boa, it just gets destroyed by .Q plus Van Auger again. I do think potentially, if the Doflamingo had taken out the .Q in the early game, he'd be in a better position when the .Q got rid of the Sengoku on that second turn. He wouldn't have had these reliable KOs, but he would have drawn an extra card, and Doflamingo is not to know that he wouldn't have drawn another .Q. He'd also be higher on life, and as we know, the end game is really strong for Blackbeard, being able to chain those big 10-cost Blackbeards. We're going to see a 7 leader effect. Gets a Boa. No on play, but he does get a nice body on the board. And this 7 is going presumably at leader. Yep, takes the hits. No counter in hand anyway. Gets a Jack. Jack's also quite nice in this matchup. He would need an extra source of reduction to do anything with the Jack. But he just play out the Josu. I don't know if no on play, but playing out the Josu is fine. So we might see something like... We could see the Jack come down and the Van Auger plus Jack take out the Josu. And then leader swing into the Boa, 8 on 6. I don't know if that would be the best play. Not played a ton of Blackbeard myself. He could also just dump the 10-cost Blackbeard. Get out a nice blocker, stop the Josu from attacking, and then attack with leader into leader, 5 on 5. Just depends how much he really values keeping this board clear versus just getting out the big Blackbeard. Can of course use the .Q and the Van Auger to take out the Boa if he's not going to use the Van Auger with Jack, which is fair enough. Yep, Van Auger minus the Boa, .Q take out the Boa. This Van Auger and .Q combo has got some crazy value for the Blackbeard player in this game. We're going to see the Jesus Burgess swing 6 at life, gives a 2k. Leader swing 5 at life. He's going to give us maybe one of these puddings. These puddings aren't doing very much. Yeah, gives us the pudding. Makes a lot of sense to me. So we'll see the 10-cost Blackbeard. Josu cannot attack. And negates the leader. Not that really does very much. And he ditches the Jack. I think that makes sense. So no on plays again for Doflamingo. Josu can't attack. His leader attack is just going to get blocked by that big block of Blackbeard, which is pretty cool. Draws a Jinbei finally, but it's not going to happen. There is no on plays here. So our Doflamingo player doesn't really have a lot of options. He can do 4 for Boa, 6 for Josu. Just try and get some more bodies on the board. But this Blackbeard is rolling him down. He's getting him down on life pretty smoothly, pretty efficiently. And he can't do any damage to Blackbeard this turn at all. Not to his board, not to his hand. Nothing. Which is pretty rough. Unless he wants to put all 10 Don on Doflamingo and attack. In which case I expect that Vasco shot right there will just block. And for 2. Will be a pretty not great play, I think. Doing 14 with leader effect, play out something off the top, hopefully. But I'm really not seeing quite what plays the Doflamingo can do here. I do think he's kind of got his back against the wall. Picking up 8 Don. Nope. Picking up 10 Don. He's deep in the tank. I think he knows he's pretty cooked at this position right now. The Blackbeard has managed to get to the early game whilst keeping the Doflamingo's board mostly clear. This Dot Q Van Auger combo has popped off. I really think that Dot Q, in hindsight, probably should have been taken out early to deny the KO combos. We are going to see 2 Don leader. 7. 7 where, though? Going to play out the 2-cost teach. We finally see the 2-cost teach. Blackbeard blocks that hit, wherever it was going. And we do see 6 for Jozu. Very nice. Will he do 1 for Sengoku? 1 for Sengoku. Interesting. And we will see the Blackbeard player start their turn now. He does draw another 2k stronger for the turn. His hand's just a big Blackbeard and 2 2ks. I imagine we'll see another big block of Blackbeard come out now. We might see... we're going to start with 5, maybe. There's no 4 cost for us to clear really efficiently with the Doc Q and the Van Auger. I'm going to go 5 into the 2-cost teach. Nothing our Doflamingo friend can do about that. That's gone. The Doc Q is just going to take out the Sengoku. That is respectable. He's going to go 6 life, is that? I don't see why he would reduce the Jozu. Yeah, that must be 6 at life. And the Jesus Burgess is still only 6k power. He's not too strong yet. Blackbeard hasn't seen any of their searcher events or stage or anything like that. Doflamingo takes, gets a nice 2k lore there. That will help him not die right now. But still not great. Another big block of Blackbeard. Denies one of the Jozus from attacking. Negates the leader effect for the turn. Ditching a stronger for leader effect. And the Jesus Burgess will become 7k power. Requiring 2 and 1. Very clean. And the first big block of Blackbeard is going to swing in for 12. That will be a guaranteed hit. And the Doflamingo takes another Jinbei off the life. That's not going to help him out here. No one plays once again. One of these Jozus can attack. And the Doflamingo leader can attack. But with this one big block of Blackbeard standing up, he can block one of those for free. And he still has the Vasco shot that is completely uninteractable on the board. So I don't think Doflamingo is going to be doing much damage to his life. I think one of these is going to get blocked by Blackbeard. And one of these is going to get blocked by the Vasco shot. And then for 10 Don, I mean, he can play out Jinbei and Boa separately, of course. There is no on plays this turn. He's deep in the tank, thinking about what to do. Just going to do 5 at leader. Yep, blocks with that Blackbeard there. And this Jozu's attack is almost certainly going to get blocked by the Vasco shot if he goes for it. He might choose to just not attack to leave his Jozu upright and try and go for game next turn. If there is a next turn, it's currently looking not good. Nope, how many Don is that? That is 6 Don. 13 at Blackbeard. Just going to block with the Vasco shots. And then we got 4 Don for Boa. Establish at least 1 blocker. So Blackbeard's turn. I'm pretty sure he can just get game here. Math win. He does have a 7k power Jesus Burgess. 2 12-cost Blackbeards that are guaranteed to take a life and a Boa. Then he can put all 10 on Blackbeard and win the game. So it starts with 7. So if he has to counter that, 2 and 1. He can go 7 again with leader. Or 7 with Van Auger, doesn't really matter. Goes with Van Auger, playing around a Raging Tiger trigger. Very smart. And that's the game. So well played to our Blackbeard friend there. He was able to win this tournament pretty convincingly as well, I will say. I've heard some people rumouring that the Blackbeard versus Doflamingo matchup has been worked out for Blackbeard. I do think the Doflamingo player potentially should have taken out that Doc Q. That Doc Q got like 3 KOs throughout the course of the game. In fact, no, it was 4. It killed 2 Weevils and 2 Sengokus, which is pretty insane. I do wonder if that game could have gone differently if the dot Q had been taken off the field. But regardless, Blackbeard able to clutch up the win there against the Doflamingo player. I'm just going to pause this. And congratulations to Blackbeard. I'm really excited to play this leader. I hope you guys all got your Laboons. If you saw my market watch recently, the Laboon stock market is zooming. And I expect after this first, believe this is the first CS win for Blackbeard. He got second at the last one to Lucci, which is pretty cool. So this leader really proving his right to exist in the meta. Pretty powerful and very cool. If you've enjoyed this video of my commentary going over the Blackbeard versus Doflamingo finals of the Hokkaido CS, please make sure first that you check out the official One Piece channel. You can check out the whole VOD from this tournament. There's hours of gameplay for you to watch. Really exciting stuff coming out of Japan. You can check out how this Doflamingo player and how this Blackbeard player made it to the finals. I believe the semi-final match was Doflamingo versus Nami. If you want to see Nami get destroyed, you can always watch that. That's always a good time. And if you'd like me to do more of these, I'm happy to. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed my version of commentary. I know a couple of other people on YouTube already do these. But if you've enjoyed mine, then please drop me a comment and we'll look to do more. I know this is entering CS season in Japan, as they sometimes call it, where there's a big tournament, I believe, every weekend, which is pretty cool. So next weekend, we'll see what happens, see if Blackbeard can make it back to the finals again. I do think this leader is pretty powerful, he's pretty scary, and they're still printing more support for him in the next set, at least in 010. Nothing too crazy, but there has been a card leaked today that if your opponent has 2 or more characters more than you, it's an event, 6 cost event, you can KO a 6 and KO a 4 cost, which is pretty cool. So if there was a game against Doflamingo where they were able to go a bit crazy, maybe they took out your dot Q in the early game or something like that, you could play that and get rid of their crazy board, cut it down to size, gets rid of Jozu and a 4 cost, which is very efficient. But without any further waffling, thank you very much for watching. Congratulations to this Blackbeard player and to the Doflamingo player for their very, very respectable second place finish. Far more talented than anything I'll ever do. But congrats to both of these players, and thank you all for watching.